Welcome to the She Builds Show. I'm your host, Stefanie Olson, a licensed general contractor who builds new construction, renovates, and designs your vision. Today, more than ever, we need raw, authentic women who are willing to rise above society's norms, break those glass ceilings, and encourage each other to boldly build the life we were meant to live. So, honey, what are you building? Welcome to the She Builds Show. I have a fantastic guest today. Her name is Rosa Santiago Zimmerman. Did I nail it?
Look at you.
Well,
10 points for Gryffindor.
Yes. Okay. Well, welcome to the show, Rosa. Tell the audience your business and what you do and how long you've been in the industry.
So I'm kind of an OG in the industry. I've been around for 25 years. Actually, this September will be 26 years in the industry. And I am one of the very few, I think, Latinas that are both interior designers and general contractors.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been doing this for a long time. I know there's a lot of new girls coming into the industry, and it's so awesome to see. But yeah, 26 years in the industry, and,
Wow.
and I love it.
That's amazing. Okay, so what's the name of your business?
Our business is RSZ Design, the plus sign, Development.
Yes, because you
And
do
we
both.
just went through, it's design development, and we just went through a rebranding about 2 years ago. We used to be RSC Interiors for 24 years, but we have transitioned and increased our services on the development side, and we needed a new refresh.
Yeah, a little revamp.
Yeah, a little refresh of the branding.
That's awesome. Okay, and what part of the country are you in?
So I have been in Georgia, and I personally now just moved to Florida, but I still do the Georgia region. I do Florida. I've done Florida forever. And I'll go where my clients are, as long as they're the clients I want to work with.
That's right. As long as you check the boxes.
Yes.
Yes. And when you've been in it
for the fun clients.
Yes. Yes. And when you've been in it, as long as you have, you get to make that choice. So I love it. So just tell me a little bit about like your company and like what you guys really focus on. Like give me like what's been the last 2-3 projects you guys have been doing?
So, we've been turnkey since day one. We've been full turnkey firms from design concept to completion. I obviously lead and manage the designing of the space. Then I lead and manage the project management. Depending on the size of the project, sometimes I will bring in partners to work with us. And we have 3 different general contractors that we partner with when we have more than we can handle. Depending on the project, I will bring them in to kind of be a liaison in the project and deal more with the hands-on. And then at the end of the day, we obviously, stage the space, furnish the space, decor the space, and reveal the space. So
that's amazing.
We're involved in the process from A to Z. And we find that our clients love that. They absolutely love it.
I'm sure just to be able to walk in and have it be completely done and decorated. I don't have like the interior design, finish, but I still, there's a part of me that's like, can I put all your things away in the pantry for you and organize them just right? That like my little brain wants to like make it all perfect for them. But, I haven't gotten there yet. So are you mainly like remodels or are you more new construction?
I am both. I'm not either or. I am both. Depending, I believe at this point in the game, in the synergy of the project and the synergy of the client. And I honestly think, our clients become family. And so if that synergy is in place, then we will take either or. I'm going to say we're probably 60-40, where we're 60% remodeling, 40% new construction.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. So tell me, I'm interested because you've been in it so long. How did you get started? Like, what was your path to get your general contractor's license? I know it sounds like you started in interior design. Did you go to interior design school? Did you just figure it out? What was kind of your process for you at the beginning?
My story is quite interesting, and the book is coming.
The book is coming. Oh my gosh. You literally have to talk to this Julia lady too, because Julia Lawton, she's also writing a book. I'm like, these are the original gangsters of, you guys need to have like an original gangsters of construction.
We need an OG podcast.
Yeah, something. I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys are like the coolest people ever.
The book is coming, but I actually started my first education. I was a paramedic firefighter.
Wow.
And still in a male industry. I just like the boys.
I know, right?
They're great to work with. But yeah, no, after that, I left that very early on when I realized this is not going to be for me for many reasons. It'll be in the book. I went ahead and I established a couple of businesses. And in the middle of one of the businesses, I looked at my husband and I said, okay, this is done. This is done. This is done. We can eat, right? Yes, we can eat. We're comfortable. Yes. All right. I want to go back to school. And so at the age of 28, I decided to go back to school. Literally, I had just found out that I was pregnant with my daughter, who is now 23.
Oh.
And 24, about to be 24. And I said, I'm going to go back to school. And he's like, what do you want to do? You know? And I was like, yeah, I want to study interior design. And so I went out and I studied interior design.
Oh, wow.
And I did it in 3 years. I did it in night school because I was still the CEO of one of our firms and constantly busy. Then a brand new mom. I mean, you know,
all the things.
When we take it on, we take it on.
That's right. I'm like, when you find a woman that like you, like that's what's so cool to interview and find people like you, because you think you're the only one that's crazy and psycho going after everything. And then you're like, oh my gosh, there's other people made like me that like want to write a book, that want to like start businesses and help people and be successful, that can do it all. Like I always was like, yeah, I had the baby and I was working and I was going to school. It's like, yeah, we just got to do it. It's so cool. Okay. So continue on.
So then I went back to school and I started in design and, you know, I started working in that, but obviously I am Spanish, you know, those of you that can hear my accent.
Yes.
And
Rosa.
That's and, right. You know, it was very easy for me to manage the projects. So finally I got to a point where I was just like, you know what? Why not? Let me just go ahead and get my GC license while I'm in this, because I am running these projects anyway.
Yeah.
And, you know, I got my GC license and believe it or not, I mean, getting ready to get it again in Florida.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Because in
Florida, I have, you know, I've continued to work and I've worked with a lot of clients that are Georgia based that have moved to Florida, that have a second home, a vacation home in Florida. So I've just come over here and done the work. And usually worked under, you know, either another GC or something to that effect. But yeah, I decided, well, now we're got to go back and retake the test for the state of Florida. I'm having to learn new codes and new buildings standards. And so, you know, the education never ends, but it's just an easy segue to what I was doing, because I did find that our clients felt so comfortable with me leading the process.
Yeah.
And it's just a lot easier also when you're leading the process yourself.
Yeah. Well, the project goes so much more smoothly. So what was the timeline between like, you know, graduating college with your interior design degree and getting your GC license? How much time was in between?
5 years.
5 years. Okay. And then, so you've had your GC license for a long time.
For
20 years. 20 years. It's okay. You're only 25, so you look great.
That's right. Yes, right.
I started when I was 5 years old. I was a boss at 5.
I know. I keep on saying OG, and then it's like people are gonna go, "How old is this lady?"
Yeah. I always tell people I'm like 85. I just really look good.
Right. Yes. It's the Latina in us.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. That's amazing. Okay. So then you got your GC, and I want to know what it was like for you. You know, obviously you're a mom and running a business. What was the biggest struggle for you in that? Like, what was the hardest part about like either learning the business or running the business or balancing life? Like what kind of like wisdom from that struggle could you share?
You know, I love this question. I love this question, Stefanie. One of the things that I would tell, especially the newbies that are out there listening to me, is get in a position where you can hire the help. Stop doing everything yourself.
Yes, ma'am. Preach it.
Yes.
I literally had this conversation with an interior, like my good interior designer friend yesterday. I was like, you have got to let go of control. Like you just have to. And we're not the type of people that do that well.
No. And I'm a control freak, but here's what I've learned throughout the years. And I love this new trending statement by the new kids of the, new kids on the block, is stay in your lane. I dislike with a passion anything that has to do with accounting. Despise it. So one of the things that I did was like, okay, I need to make enough money to hire an accountant.
Right.
Whether it's quarterly or whether it's, twice a year, but, or have maybe an AP and an AR person that can just come in and do my billing, because I despised it. That was not my lane.
Right.
It literally wilted me. So that's one of the things that I try. And obviously there's a lot more resources now. We have these Girl Fridays and we have these virtual assistants that people can hire. I ended up hiring my mom. I called my mom and I said, listen, I need help with accounts receivable, accounts payable. I do not. It just wilted me. It literally stopped my creativity. So that's the one advice that I would say to people out there is, even if you go, hey, 3 hours a week, listen, it's 3 hours a week that it allows you, number one, to balance yourself in your personal life, but also not to get burned out in the process.
Absolutely.
And the other one is, it's honestly kind of in the same lane, is before you go into business, because I see it, I'm on a couple of boards that sometimes I'm reading and I'm going, oh my God, listen, school doesn't teach you crap about the business of the business.
Right.
Okay. Can I be real about that?
Oh,
it
yeah.
does not teach you crap about the business of the business. So don't come out of a design school thinking you can run a firm. You cannot until you do your ABCs. And your ABCs is get an attorney, get your contracts.
Yes.
Get an accountant, get your classifications in order, get, how you're going to bill, how you're going to pay contractors, whatever it is that you're going to do.
Right.
Get all of that and don't mess with, Uncle Sam.
Yeah. Pay your taxes.
Pay your taxes.
Yeah.
Those three things, because I see so many, and I interview many of them that come out and they're like, hey, oh my God, yes, I think I can do this. And I'm like, it took 10 years for my business to flourish to a level where I could sit back and go, okay, now the checks and balances are in place. I'm not borrowing from Paul to pay Mary. And I'm not, and I don't see, and I don't know, I've heard a couple of your podcasts. I don't see a lot of the designers out there sharing this information.
Right. Absolutely. I think it's probably like the hardest part about the business. And I think like that's the reality of it, is that there is just, it's kind of like out there, like some, wonderful thing. And I'm like, no, it's hard work. Like if you don't want to do hard work and cry at least once a month, maybe every week over your business. Yeah, I know. I'm pretty sure that happened to me this morning. And like where you say you want to quit constantly. And like, that is the reality of running a business. And I think it's because, at least like for me, it's people dependent. And there are not people that understand that your business is your baby and they don't treat it like that. And it's so, I think the hardest thing is to find good people that you trust and to train them well. And if you are not naturally like a leader or somebody that delegates well and can create systems, you're going to struggle. Like it's freaking hard.
Yes, it is. It's extremely hard. Those would be the two things that I would, is out there listening to us, that, hey, get your ABCs in order. This business can be very lucrative and very rewarding, both personally and financially and emotionally. But just like anything, this is not specific to just us and our
Right.
industry and the construction and the design industry. This is pretty much any business. You got to do your ABCs, you know, and you do have to put your processes in place in
Yes.
order for you to succeed at that level.
What do you think was like the biggest thing that you were able like to delegate and let go of control that was maybe like the hardest for you? Because like I struggle with, I don't want to delegate it unless I know how to do it and unless I have a process to do it well. So I'm like, you know, and I think that there's this mentality that it's like, oh, I'm just going to hire, you know, Joe Schmo over here to do it. And he's just going to create the process. And I found out like that doesn't work. Like you have to know what you want, know how to do it, and then like pass on the successful system rather than just like have a warm body show up. What has been like most successful for you in that like delegation process?
Well, you know, I think going back to accounting, that's a big one because that's your money.
Yeah.
You know, that's your money. And not only that, but there's also comes in the perception, especially in a small firm, you know, and I consider myself 25 years later, and I mean, I do very big projects, but I still consider myself a small firm. And because one of the things that I made sure that I had in my firm, and it's both personally and professionally, my kids would tell you, my mom's always saying this, quality over quantity. Give me one person that can do three things. Don't give me three people that can do half a thing.
Right.
Right?
Yes, absolutely. I love that.
I'm not running the United States government.
Yeah. We don't need just bodies, right? Like every time I like drive, we have you know, the Caltrans, like, you know, on the side of the road. And there's always like one dude doing the work and 19 watching them. I'm like, oh man, if those are my guys.
Yes. No, it's no. But I would say accounting, because obviously, you know, you're bringing someone in, and let's say you have to bring someone in that is from the outside. You're bringing them in and now they're looking at the nitty gritty. What are you charging? What are you billing? What are you really paying? If you're marking up, what are you marking up? And my biggest hesitation as a control freak was, okay, this person is going to come in and it's going to be like, well, wait a second, you're paying me $15 an hour and you're billing 150 or 200 and you're marking up 70% and you are, you know, getting the paint for, I don't know, $2 a square foot, you know, whatever it may be.
Yeah. So and then now they can see all of your information.
Yeah. And so, and I had an experience with an employee that unfortunately attempted to, you know, she thought I had the money that I didn't have. Let's put it that way.
She wanted some extra.
Yeah. Well, she tried to create a process to remove it. And so long story short, I was like, I kept on going, no, I'm not giving this to anybody. And until it was, okay, can I give it to my mom?
Yeah, I trust my mom.
My mom is not going to rob me.
Yeah.
So that's where I started, you know, giving a little bit, because then at the very least, she had eyes on it.
Yeah.
And then she could work with the accountant, and then she could work with the other people. And, you know, is it my own personal problem? Yeah. You know, I'm still a work in progress. I'm sure it is still my own personal problem. But that was a big one. And then HR was the other one.
Payroll
Well,
and
HR,
like hiring and firing and all of that.
So firing, I'm very good at.
I got that down.
Hiring, I consider myself to be a leader. I am not a manager. I can take you, and if you've got the mindset, I can make you fly.
Yeah.
Not a problem. I don't want to tell you how to do it. I don't want to give you the step-by-step process. I'm tell me what you need and I got it. So that's the way that I lead.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, I'll show you processes, but I am not a micromanager.
Yeah. I fully agree. Because I feel like if you have capable people, you want them to think for themselves. And because I always tell my people, like, I don't want to be the bottleneck to make all the decisions. Like, I want you to have the freedom, the strength, the wherewithal, the wisdom, the knowledge to make a firm decision and be confident in that without me present. And if you totally F it up, like, it's okay. Like, at least you made the decision and you learned something. You know, like I'd rather you than bug me 900 times a day because you don't know how to make a decision for yourself, you know?
Right. Yeah. Have the autonomy, learn. And if you make a mistake, we're going to sit down and we're going to talk about it. But hopefully that was it. You know, that's the 2x4 that hit the donkey over the head. And then now you went, okay, I got it. I got to go. So HR for me was, I despised it because I just, like I said, I didn't, and I still till today, I do not have the skill set to manage people.
So tell me, how is that set? Because I'm just interested, like, how is that? Because I feel the same way. Like I'm really good at what I'm good at, and I'm good at leading people and inspiring people, encouraging people, helping people. But I don't want to look at your calendar or your to-do list. Like, and if you don't get the shit done that I ask you to get done, I will know. But, you know, like, I don't want to. So tell me what does your organization look like to allow you to be able to do that? Because I bet that there's other people that feel that way, that, you know, it's not your skill set. And I think sometimes as the leader, you don't think that there's a way out of that HR managing people role. So what did you do?
Again, same thing. I went out and I sourced somebody that was very good at that. Again, dear and near
You're
to
like,
my
it
heart.
was my sister. No,
It's not my sister, but it's one of my very close friends.
Okay.
That is her job in normal corporate America. And I literally said, Lynn, can you come in and consult as I need you and oversee this crap? Because I swear that the Department of Labor is going to arrest me. I don't know if they have the power, but they probably are.
Right. Yeah. Somebody's going to take me away.
Somebody's going to take me away. So no, I went up to her and she is fantastic. And I am in awe. And it's so funny because I think a lot of people out there see people like me with my personality. I have a big personality and they go, nothing impresses her. I am in awe. I like literally bow when I see her having these conversations that I'm going, shit, I would never say that.
Yeah.
Those words would never, that patience would never come out of me. And that's why I think that I'm very good on the male side, because as you know,
it's
male
like more
industry,
direct and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Yeah.
Yes. And I mean, I have made men cry.
What a gift we have.
but, you know, but that's not the norm.
Yeah.
But no. So I brought her in and I said, please help me with this. Because when I tell you, I mean, and this is no joke, there were days that I would get home and I was bawling my eyes out because sometimes we would take up to 21 projects a quarter.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That's a lot.
A firm
that's insane.
Of 4.
Yeah. That's insane. I can't even do that in a year.
a firm of 4, 21 a quarter. So I would come and I would be like, you know, the construction side, that even, you know, the electrician didn't show up and the painter has to paint. Okay, I can deal with that. That's not a big issue.
Yeah.
It was just the interpersonal
relationships.
I look at everybody as, wow, yes, you can fly. And then I get frustrated when, why can't you fly? Or why don't you want to fly?
Yeah.
Come on,
let's fly. Get off the ground.
Come on, you're going to crash. So I removed myself and that's what I learned. And I learned that way later on. And again, if anybody's listening out there, all your people that are listening, honestly, get out of the way.
Yeah.
Get out of the way.
I think I need to hear that.
Yes.
Well, because like, I don't even think that was possible to like, so is she there all the time? Or is it just like, does she help?
No,
like
she did probably about anywhere between 10 and 25 hours a week, depending on what was needed. Obviously, if she was interviewing, you know, she would set up.
So she does all your interviewing and hiring for you. Oh my gosh, I'm so jealous. Lynn, come to California.
She's amazing. She really is amazing. She's very good at it. And again, it's just me getting out of the way because then, you know, if somebody needs to be let go, okay, I may need to do that. Or I may bring her in and be like, hey, do it the nice way. Here you go. You know, do whatever it is that you need to do. But it was me getting out of my own way. And it took me a while as an OG to come to terms, to come to Jesus with myself on that and just kind of say, all right, What's your lane? What are you very, very good at?
Yeah.
Anything else, get out.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
So yeah. So
because I
that's
think
the
that
one
we get
thing.
confused when we're like a semi-talented human that we can do a lot. Like my father's always told me, like, your biggest problem, Stefanie, is that you can do too many things. And it's like, you're, like, that's exactly right. And I like, even just like, I come from have you ever read the book, The One Thing by Gary Keller?
No.
It's a good, I mean, it's a short little book, but it's Gary Keller, created Keller Williams. And his like focus is like, you're one thing, like that's what you do every single day, and everything else doesn't matter. And it's like the same concept of like, stay in your lane. And I just love that you've taken it to the point of hiring people in maybe typical like roles that people just assume that they have to do. I think it's like one thing to delegate accounting and project management and scheduling and invoicing and all of that, and the little things that we just kind of get bogged down with. But like the bigger concepts of managing people and hiring and letting people go and dealing with conflict and stuff that just like, because it sucks the life out of me to like interview people. I'm like, I don't know. I hate hiring slow because I need you now. And I don't care if you're right, but then I'm going to care that you're wrong in 6 months from now because I didn't hire slow. And I took, but then it's like, how do you deal with that? And I love that you've come up with a solution for that and have like, to get yourself out of that way, because I feel like I didn't even think that could be an option. And now I'm going to have to go find someone.
There are people out there that are willing to do consulting on the side and, need some extra hours. So there are people out there that need some extra hours. And obviously I'm blessed in the fact that I have friends that, are very good at certain things. And so, and
stay in your lane. Okay. So then now I have to ask you, what's your lane?
My lane is design. My lane is construction. My lane is envisioning what people can't even fathom. My lane is managing my contractors. I'm very good at that. You see, and there's a different personality there. I'm very good at managing my contractors. I'm very good at scheduling. I'm having, and having that domino effect in a construction project where it goes, concrete, framing, roughen, sheet.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
I eat, sleep, breathe the schedule.
Yes. And so I'm very good at that. And I am very good at making sure that my contractors understand you're not wasting your time, and I educate them. And, that's where I actually think that I shine is I educating and explaining to them, listen, I don't need you to be here 3 times because let me tell you, you charge me X. And if you come here 3 times, now you just made this. But if you only come here this time, you make this. So understand that your time is money, because a lot of our contractors do not understand that their time is money. They can go 20 times to a job. We have processes in place where everybody has access to the drive. We take before pictures. Why? So that my contractors are not driving 3 times to the project to figure out if there was a window or no window. Pull up the pictures, pull up the videos. There's a window.
Yeah.
You don't need to drive an hour and a half to go see if there was a window.
Right.
So those kind of processes I'm very good at, and I've done it. I think it's where I've shined. I got out of the way of anything else that I'm not good at.
I love it so much. Okay, so I do have to ask one more question. You have a YouTube channel on top of the book that you're going to send, and I can't wait to purchase it. So when your book comes out, you have to send me an email because I will be first in line. But tell me about your YouTube channel and the Real Reels. I'm interested in like the episode 2 where you had a difficult client and like what advice you have when people are dealing with difficult clients, because I have one.
Hopefully she's not listening.
Yeah, hopefully she doesn't like me enough to listen to my podcast. No, I'm just kidding.
You may have 0 now.
I know. No, I'm just kidding. I love all my clients, Rosa. I love them all.
I don't love all of mine.
No. I know I was lying if you couldn't tell.
That's why the YouTube is called Rosa's Real Reels.
Okay.
And that's why the channel is called Rosa's Real Reel, and the Instagram and all of that is literally my real reels. Yeah. The reality of the industry, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So about 2 years ago, I had always had a bucket list item and it's still there. It's still going to happen, or it's happening, but it's going to happen at a bigger scale. There has never been a Latina GC interior designer at the helm of any design show ever.
Mm-hmm.
Worldwide, ever.
Okay,
look
girl.
in Latin America, look anywhere. It doesn't exist. And it's funny, I always tell the joke, and Bob Vila does not count.
I love Bob Vila.
Me too, but he doesn't count. So I said, you know what? I want to do this. I want to go ahead and put a show out there, but I wanted to do it a lot different than what it's out there. Because those of us in the industry look at what's out there, and honestly, and again, it's Rosa's real, so it gets real here. We're bored. Mm-hmm. 23 minutes of, oh my God, you came in, you did demo. Oh my God, 20 minutes later. Oh my God, there's a whole house. And we have no idea as a consumer.
Yeah, what it was actually like.
Having the knowledge that you and I do, what it was like. That was issue number one for me, and it still is. Issue number two was we did not give the consumer the real information. I cannot tell you how many times people will come to me and say, oh my God, but Joanna just did this kitchen for 40 grand.
No, she didn't.
No, she didn't. And by the way, do you know that by the time she said cut, all that furniture left?
Yeah. Right? Yeah. And probably 80% of it was donated for the construction.
It's back in the truck.
Yeah.
So, and again, it's not to throw shade on any of these shows because they have created a bigger industry for us. And for that, I am very, very grateful. However, there's misinformation.
Yeah.
The third thing that I really was wanting to see that I had not seen is the showcasing of the contractors. Because as a designer myself, but having the other side as a contractor, listen, I can envision all I want and it could be very, very, very pretty. Mm-hmm. But I'm not building that wall for you.
Right.
And I am not roughing that house for you. And I'm not pouring the concrete. So, and don't get me wrong, I do some of the work, but not to the extent that my contractors do it.
Right.
And so you saw the shows where the contractor was always a pan. Woo! You just went right through them and you passed them. They didn't even have a name. It didn't really matter. And so I wanted to showcase all of that. And that's where Rosa's Real Reels came to life. We also wanted to do what we call serialized because, like, for example, the episode 2, you're seeing 4 projects that are in the works. And we wanted to do something that was, that you could see the process, that you could actually see, not 23 minutes where you demo, construction, finish, but that really took 11 months.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
The projects that you're seeing from us, I mean, one of them was 18 months. One of them was 11 months. To answer your question, a difficult client. And this is the OG in me talking. I've gotten to a point where, like I said at the very beginning, synergy is extremely important. Mm-hmm. Okay?
Absolutely.
I'm blessed in the fact that no matter what, whether I work or not, I eat. So, and this is different for other people. There are other people that are not in this position. My husband makes a good living and I eat regardless. But very early on, I said, for me, it makes no sense for me to take care of a client that no matter what I do, I can stand on my head and she or he is going to be unhappy. Yeah. That is going to be a bad review. And here's the disservice. And this is just me from my own values and my own wagon wheel. I would hate to walk into my personal home and go, ugh, that's the room that bitch did.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And I hate her guts. Yeah.
Yes. So I would not want to do that to anybody else.
Yeah.
So very early on, and this was before I knew I could eat no matter what, I decided I'm going to handle and accept clients that the synergy works. Mm-hmm. If the synergy doesn't work, I'm passing on that client.
Yeah.
And that is one rule that I gave myself. And like I said, I don't know what position other people are, but that was something for me that I was just like, it's going to be quality over quantity.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be able to go to bed at night and go, I can sleep.
Yeah.
And tomorrow, and don't get me wrong, listen, in that particular project, we fired the client.
Yeah.
We didn't have a choice. The tears that you saw, that was the back end of the meltdown. One of the producers of the show said, you have to record yourself. And I was like, you don't understand. I couldn't even speak. I was like, that kind of ugly cry. And I may not use it, but I need you to record yourself telling me your feelings about this. I was devastated. And I'm going to share something in your show that I haven't shared with anybody.
Okay.
So in your podcast, what that client did not know, and I'll say this quickly, it was a situation that it literally pulled at the strings in my heart, the story that she gave me. The project she wanted to do, she could not afford.
Yeah.
25 years in the industry, I called in favors.
Yeah.
And I got $75,000 worth of labor and materials donated to the project.
Wow. That's crazy.
That's not on the show.
Yeah.
That's never revealed until this very moment right now. The client didn't even know.
Yeah.
Because we didn't get to tell her.
Right.
It went from great to bad to horrible in literally 2 seconds.
Oh, man.
And that's when as the mother hen, and that's your role in your position, as the mother hen, my role after I fell apart, because I am still human, was, okay, what's my role? My role is to protect my team.
Yeah.
I mean, my daughter was so upset about this process that you guys don't see, because again, we decided we don't want to show like a housewives of whatever. That's not the kind of show we want.
Right.
We could have, but we don't want that. So all of that was cut. But my daughter was so upset because she knows I'm a very outspoken, and I literally took a back seat to all of it and became an observer, because if I would have opened my mouth, it would have been awful. And she actually left. She actually was on premises, on site, in the middle of all this. And she said, I got to go. I can't even, the word she used is like, I don't even know how to respect you right now.
Yeah.
Because she was so upset with me because I was kind of allowing what was happening.
Yeah.
But honestly, after the fact, she realized what I was doing is honestly calming the situation to a point where we just got to get out of here.
Yeah, we got to at least have a conversation where we can not be screaming at each other.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
So, if you have the ability to understand, and I know the newbies out there, they get really excited. Oh my God, I got a new car. I got a new car. Listen, take a step back and look at that synergy. Look at that energy. How is this going to work? If this person if you see this person's not someone you're going to be able to please, it's not about you.
No, absolutely
it's
not.
About them.
Yeah.
So remove yourself, because why? It's kind of like watching a bad movie over and over and over.
Yeah.
Why would you want to watch a bad movie over and over and over?
Yes.
You don't.
And then unfortunately, it's like we don't learn that by just somebody like you telling us. Like, we learn it by going through it, which sucks. And, the thing that I have learned to say to clients at the client meeting, initial client meeting, is we are going to be dating and then getting married. And if you and I do not get along and you don't feel connected to me, you don't trust me, then this will not work. And I say this is a mutual relationship. And I want you to get your mind away from the cheapest bid and know that number and the cheapest number, if you're going to be comparing contractors when you're deciding on your project, is not going to matter 6 months from now. What's going to matter is that person communicating with me. Do I get along with them? Do I feel comfortable calling them? Am I okay communicating my concerns? Do I trust them? Do I know that they have my back in terms of my money and my budget? That is what matters. And I think that the customer and the client has been trained to only go get bids and make decisions on numbers. And I'm like, it actually has nothing to do. I mean, obviously that's a part of it, but when you're in the midst of it, we've got to be like on the same page and you've got to trust me. And I'm like, I have turned clients away because I don't think we're the right fit. That's kind of how I say, the nicest way possible. I don't like you and I don't think you'll like me.
Here's another tidbit for those that are listening. That's one thing that I do. I do a 30-minute call, no charge, 30 minutes. We're going to have a conversation. And in that 30 minutes, I determine this is going to work or this is not going to work.
You can tell.
And I tell them, I said, this is an interview. And in my email that goes out to them, it says, this is an interview of each other. As much as it is for you, it is for us. We are going to determine if we're going to accept you as a client. And please don't get me wrong, to all those listening, I have done this from day one. This is not now, I'm 25 years into this and I feel I've done this from day one because again, I wanted a business that it was true to me, to who I am.
Yeah. And not being able to make somebody happy is the worst feeling in the world. And if you have somebody that you can't make happy, that's what's going to keep you up at night and make you want to quit. When you have a client and when like you experience the opposite, where like everything you do, they're grateful for it. Everything you do, they love. And if they have to say something like, hey, could you, do X, Y, and Z, and they're totally comfortable saying that. I always tell my people, like, do not be afraid about being anal with me. Like I was born that way and I understand it. You're not going to upset me, but we have that, relationship and that connection and they feel comfortable saying that. And when if you're the type of person that holds it all in and you can't express that to your contractor, then you just like build on happiness and build on happiness. And then it explodes and it becomes awful. So it's definitely a two-way street. And I have unfortunately also had to learn that the hard way.
Well, and it is, like you said, it's kind of like with kids. My kids are older, they're 23 and 31 and about to be 24. And, it's kind of like you go, hey, don't run down that hill. You're going to fall. You're going to scrape your knees. It's going to burn. Hey, until they fall, they scrape their knees and it burns. And then they have to come up here and I have to put iodine on their scrape. They don't learn. But we have so much information out there right now. Is things that I didn't have. All these podcasts and all of these avenues for us to become educated. We need to start, instead of just hearing, we need to start really listening. Yeah. Because there is a lot of good information out there that can start guiding you. Absolutely. But at the end of the day, it's about you being in any business, is being honest to you, being true to yourself.
Absolutely.
It's the number one. So that's what Rosa's Real Reels is all about.
I love it. Okay. So you got to share with everybody where they can find you, follow you. What's the name of your YouTube, your website, your Instagram, all the things.
So there's only two. And so I'll tell you, RSZ, and it's for Rosa Santiago Zimmerman.
Yes.
we should say it in English. We should say it in English for the English.
Rosa, ROSA.
Rosa Santiago Zimmerman.
Okay.
So it's RSZ Design Development all together on Instagram and Facebook. Let me make sure I got that right. Yes. And then it's Rosa's Real Reels. Mm-hmm. And it's real as in being real and reels with a Z at the end. And that is on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Oh, yeah, girl.
Yes.
I love it. Oh, my gosh. Well, thank you. This has been amazing. Go ahead. Say what you want to say.
No, I said, so go follow us, please. That's what we need. We are, we've had conversations with several networks, but right now I'm going back to staying true. We're going to stay true to what we can offer. And so far, YouTube is going to be the way. We're looking at other streaming, but you know what? We're getting a lot of great reviews. We're doing a lot of behind the scenes, some of the bloopers of my clumsy self. But go out there and go follow us and tell us what you think, because honestly, that's what we want to know. We want to know what people are thinking, what they want to see, what interests and questions.
Absolutely.
Every time we do an episode release, we do a live. And actually one is coming up. I don't know the date right now, but episode 3 is coming out now. We do a live. We do it all together. Everybody watches it, myself included, for the first time together. And I tell people, ask me questions about the process. What do you want to know? Where did I buy that tile? How did you install that herringbone?
All the
how
things.
much does concrete cost you? Whatever it may be, ask the questions. So it's an invitation to all of you to go out there and follow us.
Oh, yes. Follow, like, subscribe, all the things. I love it. I love that you're just going after it. And I am so blessed to know you and get to know you and to know that you're out there. And if I ever have a project in Florida or Georgia or know anybody, I'm for sure going to send them your way.
Absolutely. And same thing in California. I haven't had a project in California.
It's not fun. The rules are so strict.
Is it? Well, maybe if you want to come to Florida, there's so much construction going on.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I went to Florida 4th of July last year and I thought I was going to die.
The heat?
My hair was like to Destin. My hair was like this big and there was like 300,000 people in 1 square mile. And I was like, I'm never coming here again.
So when you want to come back, that's where I live, by the way.
In Destin?
I live in Santa Rosa Beach.
Oh my God. Well, Santa Rosa Beach is a whole other story besides Destin.
So when you want to come back, now you know how to reach me. And then I'll tell you when you come back, when you want to come back, that you don't have to deal with any of that. Because we, the locals, we don't deal with any of that.
I was like, I just want to go to the beach. And they're like, oh, this is a private beach and you have to pay to sit here with all the other people. And I was like, I just want to go in the water.
We'll talk.
Well, Santa Rosa Beach is gorgeous. We did drive around there. That was pretty cool.
You'll call me. I will. Say all of the above. I love it. It's a completely different experience.
I'm sure. Beautiful. Yes, it is. All right. Thank you so much, Rosa. It was so nice to meet you. All right. I'll talk to you soon. Okay. Have a great one.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining me today on the She Build Show. My name is Stefanie Olson. My hope is that this episode leaves you feeling empowered and ready to boldly take that step into building the life that you envision, 1 2x4 at a time. And if you can do me a quick favor, please leave me a 5-star review on iTunes. I get giddy over reading the reviews each week, and I will choose one special person to win some She Build swag. Make sure you add your name to the review, and I'll reach out if you're the winner. Thanks again for hanging out. Be sure to visit me at theshebuildshow.com, where you can ask me questions and share with me what you're building.